I wanted to recreate Jennifer Lawrence's Golden Globes dress. There was only one problem. This is her dress, and this is my comfort level, so I felt conflicted. If I recreated her look exactly, I would not only be very uncomfortable, I would also risk looking like a delusional nobody trying to look like a celebrity. And look, I am all for being delusional, but I fear this dress might be way too powerful for my skills. So instead of setting myself up for failure and exposing myself, I started to ponder, how can I keep the light, dainty vibe while still feeling like myself? The solution was obvious. I needed a non-see-through layer underneath, an emotional support layer, if you will. So I went to my favorite fabric store and obtained this. On the way, I had a genius idea. Instead of making one dress with two layers, what if I made two completely separate dresses and layered them? That way, I could feel resourceful and maybe one day wear the sheer one by itself. If I ever unlock that level of confidence or delusion, whatever comes first. The dress in a dress also reminded me of Inception, which instantly made this idea 1000% more viable in my brain. I did say the idea was genius, right? Turns out it wasn't, at least not for my mental stability. You see, I had a minor mental breakdown making this dress. Nothing outside the usual, but I made a video about it if you're interested. At one point, I genuinely considered scrapping the slip dress, making only the sheer one, and just forcing myself to be brave. And I hated that thought, because I think I would be really cold. And also, not to be dramatic, it would feel a little like self-betrayal to disregard my own needs like that. This is how the dress turned out. It looks fine on the hanger, but if it doesn't work underneath the sheer dress, then the whole layering concept fails. And if the layering concept fails, then this whole project was based on false optimism. And if that's true, then maybe I'm not the strategic genius I thought I was 5 minutes ago. And if that's the case, that kid from 3rd grade who called themselves DJ was right all along. Did I mention I sometimes put too much pressure on myself? Anyways, now that the emotional support layer was done, my comfort level rose from the pits of hell and nothing stood between me and tackling the actual naked dress. Except I had no fabric. And you might think, wait, why didn't you buy any when you bought the other fabric? Well, I looked, and I even got some nude soft tulle, and I could hand embroider all of these flowers. Objectively, that's possible, and it would only take several months, and I would probably have to quit my job to finish it. But historically, this ends in avoidance and a garment I deny exists. I speak from experience. So to reserve my sanity, I searched for pre-embroidered tulle. And the more dramatic and colorful the fabrics looked, the more I could feel myself doubting that I could find anything that fits the vibe and feels like me. But then I stumbled on this. And honestly, I was losing my patience and it matched the occasion well enough, so I just ordered it. When it arrived, I thought it looked a little cheap, but after playing around with it a little, I thought maybe this could actually work. That changed when I had to redo the bust 3 times until it looked acceptable, but I regained my optimism quickly because as a programmer, I'm used to things not working and figuring them out as I go. You know, while making this dress, I thought a lot about how the way we learn to exist in society can still affect us even if society is not even present. Let me explain. As you can see, this fabric is very see-through. That's the point, because it's a naked dress. But the thought of putting it on by itself, alone, with literally no one to see me in it but myself, I could already hear my 2000s body shaming conditioning tearing apart my appearance. And really, if we look at it objectively, if I'm alone, there is no one there to judge me but myself. The 2000s are long over, and yet it still feels so present in my brain. The magazines nitpicking every tiny little detail of the celebrities' bodies, making fun of so-called armpit fat. If you don't know what that is, you know that piece of skin that you have in your armpit? This piece of skin here that sometimes pushes out if your dress or your straps are a little tight. That is what they called armpit fat. And me reading that as a preteen, wondering if I should be insecure about that too. And don't get me started on all of these trends seemingly coming back. And now that I think about it, beauty standards are really strange, especially because they keep on changing. They seem to alternate between valuing very skinny bodies, and more voluptuous ones. I've wondered whether one reason for that is simply because the beauty industry can sell more products this way. You know, right now, enough people have achieved the slim, thick body type, so maybe this trend just doesn't make as much money anymore. So super skinny becomes in again, and suddenly there are diet pills and GLP-1 medications everywhere. And once enough people are that skinny, curvy will be in again. So the cycle can start anew, almost like the game is set up so you can never win as a consumer. Let me know if that's far-fetched. From a capitalist standpoint, it kind of makes sense. The problem, obviously, is that it scars people. Some more, some less. And I think that conditioning did make me uncomfortable in my own skin. And I'm slowly regaining that confidence, or really, I'm gaining it for the first time. What I noticed helps me get back in touch with myself is to listen to what I actually feel comfortable with, and then pushing myself outside of my comfort zone bit by bit, instead of going from 0 to 100 in one jump. And actually, this project is the perfect example for that. Now, let's put everything together. Because my dress looks completely different from Jennifer Lawrence's anyways, I thought I could go for a spring fairy vibe with this look, because it has just started getting warmer after snowing for a month straight, and I've been craving spring. So let's not only celebrate spring, let's become spring. I made a giant flower crown for this occasion, which I've been dreaming of making since like the mid-2010s somewhere. So I'm really excited that I could make it now. And I did put on some cute nails, even though I took them off after one day for the first time I put them on, because they were driving my frustration level through the roof, because I just can't seem to function in them. But hey, they are very cute. And even dressed up as a fairy, I feel very much like myself. Turns out I didn't have to be braver to wear a naked dress. I just needed better layering.